Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl in your face while you're sleeping. 15 strongest people on the planet. The history of man on this blue planet has always been one of allure and wonder. We're obsessed with many things about ourselves, and one of these things has got to be our physical strength. Yes, since ancient times we have been whispering legends of the likes of Hercules. In fact, we've even hosted Olympic Games where wrestling matches were used to determine who was the strongest man that walked the surface of the earth. Indeed, the idea to find that one single man stands head and shoulders above the others has burnt inside of us for numerous millennia. But as the years passed, our efforts to find this one single entity of pure brute strength changed from aggression to more sophisticated forms of weightlifting. Since 1977, the presumed strongest men in the world have gathered annually to compete in the World's Strongest Man competition to determine just who is numero uno. And with that being said, let's take a look at 15 of the strongest men in this competition who have proved to the world that their strength was unmatched. Number 15. Andy Bolton. When you go to the United Kingdom, there is no man more appreciated in the strongman fraternity than Andy Bolton. Well, he is majorly known for being the first man to deadlift over 1,000 pounds in a powerlifting competition. The English powerlifter had first engaged in his debut powerlifting competition at the age of 21. With time, he perfected his craft, sculpting his physique to that of Hercules in his prime. He then participated in the 2012 Arnold Strongman Classic and came in 5th place. His squats are incredible as well. He holds the current World Powerlifting Organization record, hitting an impressive 1,213 pounds lifting. Number 14. Leonid Terenenko. Leonid Terenenko was born in the USSR in 1956. He was a modest boy, and while he spoke little, he did a lot of things talking with all the heavy lifting that he was doing. Despite living in a time when weightlifting was largely a disorganized sport, Terenenko set the world record in weightlifting for the clean and jerk, 266 kilograms, and a total of 475 kilograms way back in 1988. What's even more impressive is that these weightlifting records still stand today. However, due to restructuring by the Internal Weightlifting Federation of its weight classes, Terenenko's official records no longer stand, but his lifts have yet to be equaled. Do you know how hard it is to bench 6 plates? Imagine lifting it overhead. Now that's raw power at its best. Number 13. Brian Siders. Brian Siders is a born and bred USA man, standing an impressive height of 6'2". Siders has earned a spot in our list of the strongest men thanks to his overall strength. In fact, he excels in all 3 power lifts with personal bests of 1,019 pounds in the squat, 799 pounds on the bench, and a deadlift of 865 pounds for a 2,651 pound total. His best raw lifts include 650 pounds on the bench and 840 pounds on the deadlift. Siders takes pride in having achieved the aforementioned feats without the use of performance enhancement, meaning that his strength derives purely from the genetic blessings and brutally hard work that he's put in, which goes to show you that you can grab the world by your fists and declare it yours. Number 12. Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw is another American strongman who has undoubtedly captured the world's attention thanks to his impressive feats of strength. Well, he is a 4-time champion of the World's Strongest Man competition. Shaw also won the Arnold Strongman Classic 3 times and once lifted 903 pounds in a squat and 1,025 pounds for a deadlift. He also won the Giants Live twice and the Strongman Super Series 3 times. Now that's one hell of a strong resume. Number 11. Louis Ouni. Louis Ouni is one of the greatest strongmen who lived at a time when the competition was barely alive. Born in 1862, he lived in France until his death in about 1928. He stood about 6'3", which at the time was like standing next to a 7-footer, because people were pretty short back then. It's especially difficult to calculate just where Ouni, aka Apollon the Mighty, should rank among the all-time greats, as chronicles of his feats are mostly always euphoric accounts. But he was known for his great grip strength and large hands, which rendered him capable of lifting bars others couldn't even fit their hands around. Ouni was also quite possibly the world's first strength athlete, being an extremely fit and agile man who took on all aspects of wrestling. Number 10. Thorbjornsson. Bjornsson is widely known for his character role as Sir Gregor the Mountain in the famous series Game of Thrones. However, when he is not acting, he is a strongman. In 2015, at the world's strongest Viking competition in Norway, Bjornsson broke a 1,000-year-old record after carrying a 10-meter-long log weighing 1,430 pounds for 5 steps. He participated in the 2018 World's Strongest Man competition and became the champion, as well as the first Icelander to clinch the title since 1996. He emerged the winner of Europe's Strongest Man 5 times and won his 3rd Arnold Strongman Classic competition, becoming the first to win the ASC 3 consecutive times. He is also the first person to have won Europe's Strongest Man, the Arnold Strongman Classic, and Europe's Strongest Man in a single calendar year. Quite a resume he has. Number 9. Vadim Birostuk. Birostuk is the first person ever to be declared the strongest man alive in both the World's Strongest Man and IFSA World Championship competitions, winning in 2004 and 2007 respectively. In fact, he edged out the man who tops this list when he achieved victory at the IFSA contest. The Ukrainian strongman also took 2nd place at the Arnold Strongman Classic on 3 occasions from 2005 to 2007. Now into his early 40s, Birostuk has been retired from competition for some time, but his accomplishments and his legacy live on. Number 8. Eddie Hall. The English 5-time strongman champion first shot to fame when he emerged winner of the 2017 World's Strongest Man competition. One of the main highlights of his career is his distinguished world record in deadlift after he lifted 500 kilograms back in 2016. Several athletes later tried to surpass or achieve Eddie's record, but many of them failed. That is, until Thorbjornsson came to the scene and broke the record in 2020. He has also won the UK Strongest Man title 6 times. Hall deserves a spot among the strongest men in modern history. These days, he spends a large time managing his YouTube channel and has become an overnight internet sensation. Number 7. Paul Anderson. Proclaimed to be one of the strongest men that ever lived, Paul Anderson has had his share of skeptics because he lived in a time when competition wasn't that well established. Whether he really squatted 1,200 pounds is open to debate, but a few prominent figures claim to have personally witnessed him squat 700 for 8 reps in an exhibition, at a time when the official world record for the squat was about 700 pounds. Anderson won an Olympic gold medal for the US in weightlifting in Melbourne, Australia in 1956. Number 6. Mariusz Pudzianowski, the Dominator. The Dominator, of Polish descent, is the only man alive to have won the World's Strongest Man competition a record 5 times. His first attempt at the WSM title wasn't so bad as he finished 4th. He didn't return to the game the following year as he was serving a 19-month prison sentence. He returned in 2002 and won his first World's Strongest Man title. He defended the title in 2003 in style, recording the highest point total of all time. More intriguingly is the fact that he finished the top 3 in every event of that tournament. He defended his title convincingly. In 2003, he was surprisingly beaten to 3rd place in the World's Strongest Man competition. However, in 2005, he regained his title and defended it successfully the following 2 years. Talk about blowing through the competition. Today, he is retired and is a mixed martial artist. Number 5. Bill Kazmaya. Bill Kazmaya is considered by many to be one of the strongest men in the world, and it's hard to argue with that. The winner of the 80, 81, and 82 WSM contests, Kazmaya was barred from competing in 1983 by the event's organizers because it was assumed that so long as he competed, no one else would ever get the chance to savor victory. Now that's holding the sport ransom. Kaz was the first man to lift all 5 Mglashan stones, which weigh between 200 and 350 pounds. His 661-pound bench press stood as the world record for years, and if not for a pec tear, shortly thereafter he would have surely bested himself. His 2,425-pound total, set back in 1981, is still the record for raw powerlifting today. Number 4. Jamie Reeves. Labeled the successor to Bill Kazmaya, Reeves held down the title of England's strongest man for nearly a decade in the late 80s and most of the 1990s. He won the World's Strongest Man competition in 1989 and made the podium in all 3 of his trips to the WSM. Jamie Reeves was also famed for breaking, at the time, a 274-year-old record by harness lifting a set of beer barrels weighing over 1,800 pounds. He retired in the late 1990s and became a judge for future strongman competitions. Number 3. Mark Henry. Henry holds the unique distinction of being the only man to ever hold both the US weightlifting and powerlifting super heavyweight championship titles at the same time. Despite his incredible feats, many believe that Henry had untapped potential that we never got to see because of pursuing a career in the WWE. However, Henry still holds his own against the strongest men in the world. And now we've come to the best pick of the day. Does this fella right here live in the gym or something? That's one of the most chiseled backs I've ever seen. But I don't know about you. I don't think it looks good. Maybe he's taken it too far, right? Number 2. Julius Maddox. The fantastic story of an American powerlifter in 2019, from addiction to fame, is one to be strongly admired. In August 2019, Julius Maddox, popularly known as Irregular Strength, achieved the first of his feats as he pressed 739.6 pounds without a belt, thus beating the 738.5 pound record. November of that same year, he surpassed his world record as he pressed 744.1 pounds again in March 2020. Maddox performed the unimaginable as he set the world bench record, lifting 770 pounds at the Arnold Sports Classic. This certainly earns him a coveted spot on our countdown. Number 1. Zidronas. The strongest man in the world throughout modern history is undoubtedly this man. You just can't argue with these numbers. He has won the Arnold Strongman Classic 7 times, which is considered a tougher test of pure strength than the better-known World's Strongest Man competition. In 2005, he broke 3 world records en route to victory at the IFSA Strongman World Championship. The following year, he again took top honors. He placed second at the WSM competition in 2002, 2003, and 2004, usually dominating the events that involved pure strength, while not doing so well in those that required speed and agility. In 2009, he broke the streak by winning the WSM, an accomplishment he'd repeat in 2010, 2012, and 2014. In 2014, he also set a new world record with a 500-pound log lift to complement his other impressive totals: a raw squat of 880 pounds, a 900-pound deadlift, and a 629-pound bench. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's the strongest man in the world. And with that being said, we've come to the end of this video. So, which one of these men impressed you the most with their feats of strength? Let us know in the comment section down below. Plus, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to get more enriching video content.